A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and elsewhere. Friends, today I sit down as a Guyanese to address this nation once again. Guyana is a beautiful country. Our ancestors are very fortunate to put their foot down on the shore of Guyana, whether it was done by hostile way of slavery, as they say, or the people who said days of arrival. Now, let this be known to you, our black brothers and sisters. Then I will give the Indian version. If you look back hundreds of years, and even present today in Africa, you will go down on your knee and give God praise first that you are out, that you could live a luxurious life, get an education once you want it, and go far in life. You could become anything you want to out of Africa, unless you're in Africa and you have a lot of money. Guyana and the Caribbean and elsewhere, you, the blacks who came out, the white man, and I want to stress on this, the white man did not under no circumstances kidnap you and bring you out. It was tribal affair. Your ancestor was defeated by the other tribes and they were sold to the European, as you call the white man. How it all happens, you believe in God. Could it be it was the will of Almighty? Could it be? Because we give him credit for everything. And even his prophets become slaves. Ask the Arabs. They were selling slaves. Ask them. Ask the Indian in India. They also had slaves. Look how they treat the poor Indians in India. And in Africa. Look how they treat one another. Today, you are much more educated. You came out of tribal affair and you are going into the centuries of the 22nd century to come on the 21st. And you are complaining, the white man take our gold. The white man exploit us. Friends, before you go on with that, pick up your Bible or the Quran and you go see everything you talk about was done by your race to other people and other race plus the Arab who was involved. Get that clear. If they could enslave God prophet and sell him, who the hell is y'all? And in every race there's good and bad. Once y'all get to understand that, then we are going some way. I'm tired hearing the white man exploit us, the white man slave us. Find out who was ruling Spain for 700 years. I say 5. Find out who's Hannibal or whatever his name is. If I don't pronounce it right, forgive me. Find out the only man that made the elephant was crossing mountain and rocks to get into to Italy and Rome and all them places to fight. So, you had great leaders. The king of Mali, 1,000 years ago, used to give gold bars to his visitors and his villagers. Y'all were some of the greatest kings, but y'all was vicious, vindictive, and corrupt, like what we have seen happening in Guyana today. We blame the PNC for a lot of things under the Burnham government. And we said as Indian, because the Portuguese and the Chinese don't say it, but you Indians say it because lack of education. You say it raw. And there's nothing better than when it comes raw. What the black man them do to Abi. Look how the advantage them take on Abi. And you're blasted right. Any black people who remember under Burnham, and during high time, even though height was straight, was different, said that these things had never happened, may God end their life. Because that means they aid and abetting in the corruption because of the color of their skin. All right? The decent black people speak out. Men like the late Walter Rodney, Omar Wally, carrying the Sousas was in the front line. Same David Hines that I hear talking trash sometimes. We crashed together in a car where he messed his ankle up, I think. But every time he will talk, something, if I remember right, is about more embedded about black people way of life in a country with 5 other nations. But that's his opinion and that's his right. I wouldn't take it from him. If you black people were so powerful, why you lose power from the first place? Why? My friend, it is time for you all stop this bullshit. Every race have good and bad. And now let me turn to the Indian side. You Indians, you were sold to the European, or rent out, by the way, rent out, as cheap labor. If you did not arrive to Fiji Island, the Caribbean, and elsewhere, maybe our African counterparts would have still be with chain on the ankle. But for a few dollars, half a bit, bit and a half, and 2 bit, and a shilling and a farthing, you have changed the stethoscope from slavery to cheap labor, where money pass. But even though today we are working and making money, we are paying heavy expense to survive. The food costs money, and the government with their tax. Plus, you got to pay taxi or train or bus or ride bicycle to get to your job. And when you think about it, many of us can't even afford to mind our children the way cost of living is killing us today in Guyana and in the rest of the world at least. I want to make this clear to you. It is time for you, the 2 major races, to come off of this bullshit and let the past be the past and look to the present and the future. I want you all to know, I want you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell so you'll get the next update. If I was walking half naked, I would have got thousands of people already watching. Or if I was singing and being an asshole to keep you all down, y'all would have supported. But to educate you, to put you on the track that you don't make that bloody mistake like others, you neglect the message, but you call in Allah, Jesus, and Bhagwan. You're wasting time. You all are hypocrites. But you're not hurting me, you're hurting yourself and your generation to come. You are wasting time. I will touch on some subject. Who opened the whorehouses? Indians, 99%. Who opened the rum shop? 3% Portuguese, 96% Indian, 1% black people. I want you to tell me who decent here. Well, the Portuguese, as European as you know, they do anything to accomplish a dollar, but they keep it by themselves. And they associate and mix with everybody. And you all know that. The Chinese, well, I wouldn't say selfish, but according to the slogan, see no evil, hear none, speak none, which means they don't associate y'all are evil, so they won't speak about it, and they will not get involved. So analyze what people are saying. Words got power. I ask many questions. Is my mother better than my friend mother? No. Is my ex-wife better than my mother or my sister? No. They all are women, and they all came for a purpose. And that is why what happened to the young Amerindian girl, it's alleged that what she's claiming, if these things had done to this woman by the individual that she accused for the crime, then I believe he should not only be out of government, he should be out of society and out of human dignity, which means execute. If he were living in Saudi Arabia or China, they'd done that. And if the president is taking side, you can't blame him. He has to protect his home base. But you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. When you had a man who married a woman and say he never marry her and put her out with a suitcase, y'all didn't object to that. When I was saying that it was a marriage of convenience, friends, the time y'all are listening to Indian music, you Indian, I know you love your people because what happened to you in the 60s. It is time for y'all to wake up and understand that no bloody politician will be for you. It's about them, their friends, their corrupt friends and supporters and family. I was made to understand some minister got 18 million US dollars. Where they get it from? They were in government before this party take over. This young president is trying his best, and he's doing. But you, the African descendants, are complaining so much of coolie people, he given position. Would you mind turn the kind over and look back in the 60s and 70s and 80s? They were all black people, brother. Or unless you have effing cataract in your eyes. And maybe you all had wax in your ears. Now I'm a mixed race, I got both of you in me, but I tell you all as it is. Guyana need a leader for all the people, by the people. We tried the blacks. They failed the nation. How it was different, he tried. Mr. David Granger, he tried, but he listened to wrong advice. But there is a God, a better judge. A judge who will judge us all in time. Take Kemraj, Ramzatan, and Nagamutu. I remember when I was campaigning for David Granger party by the market and speaking. First time in the history of Guyana, whether PPP or PNC, a man was giving extra time to speak because the crowd was gathering always. If the police then was cheering, because I believe in equality, humanity. I believe that all man must be given a fair opportunity. But what happened to this young Amerindian woman and many more? They should come forward and speak. I got to understand in the Amerindian neighborhood where the police them were keeping their guard and looking after. When they see a young Amerindian woman and they call them, they start to tremble and shake and they come and they walk with them in the bush and have sex with them. If these things are true, I don't care if you're 99 years of age, and it is proven that you have done something like that with a uniform, instead of protecting them, you exploit them and even screw them, you shall and must be executed. I don't care hell who said difference. And if the United Nations, America, Canada, and others don't get involved with them, there is a God, they shall answer it because they're getting gold, lumber, oil. This world is going to hell in a handbasket. Look, the man and his son, Pakistanis. They spend so much money to go up on a little submarine to go down to see where the Titanic went. And until now they can't come back. Think of it. Before they take the money to help the poor in Pakistan, they went to see a ship that went to the bottom. How it look, according to information is alleged. Now, I am in sympathy with the young man, not the father. Because for you to do such a thing, you have got a lot of money, but it's how you accomplish it. Fellow Guyanese, I'm appealing to the mothers. If your son is in the army or the police force, warn him not to kill people for politicians or corrupt businessmen. Because when the country change, they shall and will be arrested and they're going to make a deal to save their neck. And your son shall and will be arrested and charged with those gruesome murders. If your husband, your son, your brother, your nephew are in criminal activity, The family must get together and warn them. No crime shall go unpaid. And if an Indian pay you to kill John Thomas or George Correa, already understand if you refuse, you are dead. So tell him yes and get to the closest embassy and ask for political asylum and get the news behind you. Call name. Because when they use you to kill Correa or John, they got somebody ready to kill you, like Feynman, and the man they just slaughtered up in Madhya. According to information, it's alleged he was to kill some opposition leader. It's alleged, by the way. I got to make it clear. That's the message on the street. I'm appealing to all of you. We have to stop the human trafficking. We have to stop plenty things in the country. But you do not have a minister in government who is sincere and decent and honest enough to stand up and speak against what is happening. Any minister that gets involved with businessmen or anybody to deny a man or a woman justice shall and will be arrested and charged. And if convicted, I'll be honest, I don't believe in prison. Okay? Some of you going to say, I am too cruel. No. Ask the United States what they do to Japan with 2 bombs. Ask them what they do to Vietnam with Agent Orange. Ask them what they do to Saddam Hussein. And ask them if they wasn't involved in Gaddafi affair. But they do it for their own purpose. My friends, they will come as beggars, but yet for all they are killers. They may come as your friend, but really and truly they are your enemy. So I'm calling on the American president and the American Congress to wake up and let this world be a good playing field. Let's unite for human rights and democracy internationally, whether it's oil, gold, or lumber or timber. The man who pays more get it. Come on, America. You have fought England for your independence. We have waited for ours. The Caribbean the same. But what amazed me being a black person, a historian, and others, such as Brother Farrakhan, and I don't have anything against the man, Malcolm X, the late, Martin Luther King, and all of them speak about exploitation in many forms. And yes, they're right. Then why don't they gather the people, like Marcus Garvey says, and back to Africa? Many have went back with Marcus Garvey, and they have Liberia. Look what are they doing to the African in Liberia. They enslave them. They treat them like they were garbage. And today in the whole of Africa, we tell the white man, get out. And our children and grandchildren of those blood are sailing the Pacific and Atlantic, trying to get to the shore. And they're dying in the ocean. And these fat bastards, as leaders in Africa, put the money in the white man bank called the Swiss. Now you're going to Saudi Arabia, one of the biggest hypocrites in the religious cycle. They could kill a journalist, enslave black people, children of Africa, rape them and kill them, and the men, Philippine, Indian, and others, because you are going to seek job to take care of your family in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and Africa, and elsewhere. And they treat you like that. And they are talking about the land of Prophet Muhammad. Today I sit here and I call upon Allah. Put something bad in Saudi Arabia and those Arab countries that destroying the life and soul of innocent children and people, and all those third world leaders from Africa, Caribbean, and elsewhere. Deal with them, because they are creating more slavery economically and taking it back. And then, for you, the women in Guyana who are working, if you have a good boss, and you also have working with ministers, lawyers, and whoever, and that's your daily bread, young women, secretary, and then they push you to be the secretary instead of secretary. I think it's time for you all to speak out. Call them. Let it be known. And if you have a wife as a man, and you know she's messing with a minister because you getting mutton, but you've forgotten one thing, that is a woman who's feeding you, then you're a bastard. So I call upon all secretary of government, all women who work for businessmen and other departments, if any man use you, say you have to have sex with them, so you can hold your job and you got to mind your family, so you have to do it, please come together. This is your turn now to speak. Because a man couldn't come into this world if you didn't open up your foot and set him out. Okay? God created the world. You populate it. You have a voice more than the bastard that want to get between your legs because of his position. Okay? If you don't be careful, many children don't know their father. I am looking to populate Guyana with 20 million people, starting from Ghana, where the blacks came from, and India, Portugal, China, before the land sell out by Indians and black in the parliament. All of them are corrupt. If you give all 65 a lie detector test, just have a guillotine next door and save their head for putting in the museum. Because according to me, they're all corrupt. They're all. And I have no apology to this. If you're taking side because you're a black person and a black man complained to you but something happened to him and you call the judge to lock up the other one, you're part of corruption. You are aiding and abetting in corruption. You should not be a minister in parliament. You are a servant of the people by the people. And all you magistrates and judges, prosecutors and police, let it be known to you. You might kill a few, but where are you going after? So I call upon the two major races. East Indian descendant, with your day of arrival, your visa run out, and against somebody, they must stand the consequences. Let me make this clear to you, and my brother after me, but I didn't kill him. Me, when he run me with a knife, and I grabbed the gun, I give him warning. My half brother, I would have blown his head off, because his head was big like the moon, I couldn't miss it, but I go to the toe. I throw a cup of boiling hot tea in my mother's face for disrespecting another woman, because she was warned over and over not to insult a woman like herself and accusing her wrongfully. She did not listen, but that day I couldn't take it no more, and I threw the bloody cup of tea. And many Indians and some black people say, oh my God, he bad. He should not do that. Then give up the Bible. Give up the Quran. Did not that book says, if my hand offend me, cut it off? Well, imagine I can cut off my blasted hand because I pick up a man's diamond ring and hide it from him. But my mother who gave birth to me insult a woman and I mustn't claim justice? Where the hell y'all are going, you hypocrites? Come on. When we learn to respect one another and show love and affection, then Jesus might be on the way with Muhammad holding hand coming. But right now it looks like they die in vain because what they came to do is not accomplished yet. But you black people, you love Jesus, you love God. Why are you allowing the vagabond them to mislead you and stray you? Stop this child mother business and child father, the baby mother, the baby father. Stop it. You are not a fowl, a turkey, a duck, a cow, a sheep, a dog. Imagine wolves protect their own, dogs protect their own, animals and chickens and fowls protect their own, and a black man and a coolie now talking about child mother and child father. and baby mother, baby father. Come on, man. Be civilized. And if you are the Amerindian woman that this thing happened to, I sincerely support you for your call. And if it is true that it's alleged that 10 million was offered to your parents, then it will be used as evidence, and I would not blame your parents to accept it because you have proof. But once he was a minister of the government, you can sue for millions. Ask that corrupt man named Ramjatan, who locked up my son and stated that he had proof my son played guilty. And the jail was 3 times in fire trying to kill him, and they beat him naked, a black woman. Black men beat my son naked and didn't even give him medical, and y'all talking about white man cruelty? Let me tell y'all something here. Y'all may not like it. Wake up quick. And Mr. Ali, stop listening to people and be careful who you eat and drink from. For those who's around you and hugging you about half windows, and you don't have friends and family, brother poison brothers, sister poison the family, and it is well known in the Indian family, or the blacks, they kill for power. I might put you there to present you as the emperor, but I who pushing you like a skittle ball. Jealousy is a terrible thing, Mr. Ali. You're a well-read man, ask your father. Or go to the imam and lay up the Quran and hear what Muhammad talk and who betrayed Jesus. All right? Stop being used and abused if it is happening. I feel that there's somebody behind you. I ain't calling him, but so help me God. You may thief the Kaichor Falls. You may thief Niagara Falls, Angel Falls, but you will not escape the wrath of death. For every man have a day, and you cannot take it with you. You may hurt innocent people's family, but you have family too. When you look at Facebook or the news, you see many children crashing and dying, Indian and blacks. And you sympathize. I want you all to go behind and find out who's the mother, father, the grandparents. Could it be that they were doing bad to people and God decided to bring an end to that generation? Think of it. He is the power, not Barajak Dio, not Ali, not Norton, not Desmond Hite, the dead and gone of Burnham, or Cheney Jagan. My friends, you are in Guyana. Stop the fighting and unite. This is a wake-up call. And for the young Amerindian woman that is going to be on trial on the 9th of next month, I heard, I think she should speak the truth and stop blaming herself, because I believe it was a cover-up, because I was made to understand it's alleged policemen used to go there and have sex with those young girls and ministers. So what are we looking into here now? And another thing I want you all to know. No Indian and black, Portuguese and Chinese can try an indigenous nation in their own country. Come on, Ali. Can you try Muhammad in heaven? Or Jesus, Musa? Or Isa in heaven, if God allow you to go there? Come on. Your people days are numbered, and what are waiting you by the door of hell. Y'all will wish y'all didn't hurt innocent people. So I'm appealing to the mothers, sisters and brothers, friends all. If you have a policeman in your family, a soldier, civil servant, or a criminal bastard, talk to them not to kill for corrupt politicians, businessmen, or anybody. And if ever the job is offered to them, tell them don't refuse it, but don't do the job. Go to the embassy in the news and expose whoever tell you that. Because when you finish doing it, they already got somebody waiting to kill you and got somebody waiting to kill the other one. And here how you die. Drive-by shooting, fire, accident, or you eat poison. There's 100 ways. Well, the North Korea guy got a chemical now. Once you hold it in your hand, and you do what you got to do first before you hold it, you could shake the hand. Even if Jesus walked, but he's a God's son, so he may not die that way. You could kill anybody. So you got to be careful. So I call upon the young Indian and black people in Guyana, stop it. If you are living on a piece of land for a number of years as squatters, and the government come to break it down, first you must ask them, are they Amerindian? No, well then they can't break it down. So therefore, a Portuguese cannot represent Guyana in a border dispute, nor a Chinese, nor an East Indian, nor an African descendant. It has to be an Amerindian and a mixed race. Because the mixed man, or Douglas man, or woman, can't go to Africa and claim the birthrights. They can't go to India and claim the birthrights. And they can't go to Europe and claim birthrights. Okay, you know why? Can a tiger fit in with lion? Or can a leopard fit in with tiger? Or can a wolf be between the sheep? No. So my friends, I'm appealing to you. Unite. Your politicians have misled you. They are ruining your name. They are ruining everything for you. And I call upon all African leaders, stop thieving and take care of your people. Please, for God's sake, when you take the money to Switzerland and you're dead, your family may go there and live, and maybe one day they die by accident too, who knows, and Swiss got the money. And if you go to Saudi Arabia, them Arab don't want a better thief and a better lion and a better slave driver than them. So you know what I mean? You days numbered. Because you're a disgrace to the Arabian continent. Always remember this. A thief don't want another thief to join him who might be better than him because he's afraid that you might thief from him. All right? I think I'm educating you here. You don't got to go to ABC class. My fellow Guyanese, Indian and blacks, I'm appealing to both of you. Don't want the rest. Because y'all are the majority. One is 200 or something thousand, the other one is the same thing with 10 or 12,000 more. And you East Indian, stop cussing the girl. If he didn't join that coalition with Burnham, all Indian male over 18 would have been killed, and all of you would have got Douglas Pickney by now. Okay? Find out about the extra team plan. Read Dr. Jagan's book, Western Trial 1 and 2, and ask Hamilton Green before he dead. He know. And stop blaming black people for all that crime in the 60s. They were not the one that created those major crimes against these young children, push bottle in them and tear them apart up in Mackenzie and Wismar. Those people who do it came from the island and they're living in Isano and Madhya. But you cannot and must not and will not attack the grandchildren and children of those criminals in the past. For they were paid by Uncle Sam to do it. Because Dr. Jagan didn't mean to change from his talk of communism. Yes, he was the fault. And Burnham and he was one. The break because Burnham was a lawyer, he's smarter than him, was an arrangement. If not Burnham, to would have dead. Why you think the Jews was not in the Guyana? That was the first place for them to come and live. But America told Britain, no, let's carry them to Palestine, because Britain was ruling there too. And there is where they are. And look at the problem they are facing. Look, houses are being bulldozed, children are getting killed, journalists are getting killed, and nobody's saying nothing. But there is a God. I would have rather the Jews in Guyana than Burnham and Cherry, Indian and black, to rule it, when you're bringing Africa only in words, but not in nature and flesh, and using it as a bloody excuse to feather your cap while you're using the black people with this slave shit when you are slaving them. Come on, Norton. If you want a Guyana as a national front, I am willing to work with you on anybody But I want a lie detector test from you, as much as you could get one from me. That you didn't have hands in killing, locking up innocent people, worse anyway, or anybody. But I do not want a black man or coolie, Indian, to be the leader of the country anymore. We tried the black, but starvation, corruption, obstruction, and racism. We tried the coolie who's the Indian. It's corruption, obstruction, flood, fire, now rape. Come on! Where are you, judge, magistrate? Where are all you men who call yourselves distinguished guests, like I always hear? The honorable president. Well, you don't have a blasted honorable president, you got miserable president. I am telling you here today, because I'm looking at Facebook where people complain that Mr. Ali is making a lot of excuses, alleged. And if that is the case, Ali, in the name of Allah, I beg you to come off that ignorant of talking, hatred and passion. For every man have a time in this life. Some leader was born and many were chosen. And you the people, Mr. Ali is trying his best, but he got a lot of people behind him who confusing him. So you have to be careful who he eat and drink from and what he do. And for you ladies, any police that have done you rape from Bonham time to now, don't be afraid to come out. Don't be afraid to speak up. And you, the Amerindian community, the owner of Guyana, the mainland of Central and South America, I urge you in the name of God and humanity, speak up. And if they kill you, they are just a little group and the world will swallow them. And I made a video a little while ago and I asked that you should give Exxon the country. Because when I get to understand what Mr. Glenlal is saying and showing a man of Exxon saying $50 billion collateral what they spend to drill some oil well, and that's only collateral, I think the contract must return back to the table and only an Amerindian must make that decision. Okay? I want to ask you a question, Ali. You believe in Allah, you keep fast, come from a good family. If Allah give you the opportunity to rule heaven, will you take Judge Karaya and give me an opportunity with all the golds and the mineral there, and then I turn back and tell you, I spent $100 billion, I got to get that back first before you get it? You will throw my heart so fast. So stop playing games with the people, Ali. Nothing lasts forever. All the blood and sweat that you all put through, from the poor woman in Lenora, Coachella, the more martyrs, and the two Rampasad brother by the toll gate that was killed when they were trying to prevent the GDF from moving the ballot box. And let it be known to you, the black people, you all have never won an election. It was a coalition. And when Hyde feel that you would have the Indian support, can they change the name to Desri Prasad? It was not Desri Prasad. It was the end of his leadership. Okay? India will never forget what you all do, but they don't talk. But they are corrupt, covetous, vindictive, presumptuous. And they're very forgetful and very ungrateful. They're not all, by the way, same as black people. They're good and bad amongst everybody. One of you came from caste system, and the other one came from tribal affair. So I am calling on all of you to unite. And let it be known to you, Guyana was not granted independence because the Amerindian didn't get a country. India is independent, ruled by Indians. They divide by religion of Pakistan, but they're all Indian. All speak a Toti Chapas. Ali Bete say dream. Only Martin Luther King had a dream in America. So I wonder if he was an Indian. Anyhow, but put that joke aside. Africa is independent. because Africa ruled by the sons of Africa and daughters, black people. China is independent. It ruled by Chinese, the descendant and blood of the nation. And all these countries, and England, all of them are independent, ruled by their own. Only Spain and many others in the time in Europe and thousands of history, I don't want to go back into that, was ruled by the Moors. So when you see our Spanish brothers, they are European too. But let them know, don't insult them, because they may got some of your black genetics in them, and Indian. And when you see a Greek, you must tell him Ram Ram, Namaste, because Alexander take a lot of Indians in his days into Greece and into marriage, like how I am here, cosmopolitan, and mix up blood. But Mr. Ali, please, in the name of Allah Ta'ala, I beg of you to do good and not to be arrogant. You have given an opportunity. Make the best out of it and unite the two races, and let's go forward. Everybody deserves a piece of land to build a house. And you must deal with lands of survey. Any lawyer trying to rob a man or woman who hired them to do their work, they border land dispute, all them cases will come up from Mr. Ali at Latri Bagastong to Mohanlal who say he buy a dam. And before I end, I want to make this known to you, Mr. Ali. Can you sell me 3 inches because of the socks at 12 inch, 6 inch, 3 inches wide from the shore of the Tree County to the other side? Please, the Esquimalt, the Berbice, and the Marora, if you all could sell a Kuliman, the NDC and other, a whole dam, egress and egress, which is about 40 to 50 feet wide, 3 inches across the Tree County. You Indians can't sell me when it's not yours. You're selling out everything, man, and giving it away because you all love prestige while you're putting the nation into starvation and no salvation. So Mr. Lal, Glenn Lal, is exposing Exxon. But I tell him already, and I said loudly, don't blame the buyer, blame the seller. Well, now when that man says $50 billion they will spend US, and that is collateral, they got to get it back. Immediately, the nation should stand up and remove all who was involved in it. And I heard some minister got 18 million US in America, it's alleged, and others. And just the other day I heard all these millionaires and billionaires are standing up. So I call upon you, Ali, deal with the court system and do what is right. And that Amerindian woman, release her and get down to it. Because many policemen, I alleged, used to take off their clothes, go there, rape, and have sex with the women them too. And this young woman deserves to have protection. And if your minister really encouraged what I heard, then they must not be in the job. They are aiding and abetting in criminal activity. And I am your host, George Correa. May God be with all of you. Only by unity we can put Guyana forward and make the country great and open up the door to the less fortunate. Good night.